What's up, everyone? It's your boy NSRacing95 AKA Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome everyone to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2020 NIRA Autism Speaks 500, the 4th edition of this special event. And we are in for one heck of a race here at Talladega Super Speedway. For the 4th straight year, we have some commentators up, well, for the 3rd straight year, we have commentators up in the booth. For the first time ever, we have Trey Boto, and then returning from last year's event, Nap Fan and Trey White.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. It's going to be a great race here today at Talladega Super Speedway, and we got ourselves 42 drivers, I do believe, looking to start this 50-lap race with Clark McKee starting on the front row, and it's going to be a wild one. It's Talladega. You never know what's going to happen, but we do know we're in store for a great race here today.
Yeah, Talladega is always wild, especially in this Autism Speaks 500. My first question is to Trey White. The past 2 years, we've seen the first half be a wet fest and the second half be calm. Do you think we will see that happen again this year, or will we see a different kind of race here today?
Well, in the past couple of years, Nathan, we've seen cars blow up in the middle of the pack and early on in the race, and then split off. Two packs split off, and then there's a simple wreck in the front, and they arc a brake in the back as they come in the new accordion effect. So hopefully the drivers have learned in the past 3 years not to do this. At least if there's the unfortunality of a driver blowing up, just hopefully they won't arc a brake into this, and just to play it smart. It's not a points race, but it is a race for fun, so just don't do anything stupid, and then you might be there at the end.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Talladega, pretty much the number one rule is don't be stupid, and unfortunately these guys have been stupid the past couple of years with ARCA braking. Now to you Napa fans, normally once we get that caution-free second half, they have to pit. Do you think they will have to pit once or twice this race, determining on cautions or not?
Well, it all depends on what the fuel knowledge you have set for this race, but if you have it set to 3x, or you can see 2 stops in this race, if you have it set to 2x, it's probably going to be a 1-stopper here at Talladega. And if it is 2x, I'll be right around halfway, maybe just past halfway when you get that green flag cycle, if it is still green when we get to it. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out in this race, but the pit stops definitely add a very interesting element here, because super speedways, you can get those packs, they all stay together, but if you get a cycle of green flag pit stops, it splits the pack up, and you end up with a few select guys who have a shot at winning the race.
Yeah, very true. It's going to be one heck of a race. Who will join Travis Crampton and 2 others that will be known as Autism Speaks 500 champions? Let's find out right here, right now, at Talladega. And all 42 drivers will get wood to life here at Talladega Super Speedway for the 2020 Autism Speaks 500. All 42 drivers have a shot, but only one will win the Autism Speaks 500 after 50 laps of racing. The top 10 is Clark McKee and Val Moscow, the 43 of Mitchell Collins, alongside the 15 of Luke Rainey, the 99 of Josh Williamson, and the 38 of Al Legacy, the 21 of Francois Chastain making his first start, the 48 of Stephen Thompson making his return to the channel, and then Stephen Cologne and the 24, and the 29 of Trey Smith. So, what do you guys think we will see here today, here at Talladega Super Speedway? Will it be a caution fest? Will it be free calm? Or will it be a mixed bag?
I think it's going to be a very wild race to start off, but I think once we knock some guys out in this race, it's going to calm down. That's usually what happens here when we come to the Autism Speaks 500 at Talladega, and that's a very common thing with a lot of Talladega races on this version of the Speedway, so It's going to be a wild race. It's really hard to pick a winner, but I love doing that. I'm going to go ahead and pick Alexander Rowe in the 56. He's been really strong in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series this season. I think he might have a shot at winning this one this year here from Talladega.
That's a pretty good pit. Making his first start on this channel. One of 6 or 7 full-time for first-timers. The biggest special event, one of the biggest special events on the channel. Travis Crampton won this race last year. Can he go back to back in the 95? Will we have someone else repeat, or will we see a first timer in this prestigious race? Clark McKee and Val Moscow. The 2020 NIRA Autism Speaks 500 is green at Talladega Superspeedway. And it is the 24th, Stephen Collin, leading lap number 1, and they are already 4 wide in the middle of the pack on lap number 2.
Yeah, they got to be careful not to wreck here. It's easier to get out of a 4-wide situation here than it is at Daytona, but if they stay in that 4-wide for too long, especially entering turn number 1, that's the trouble spot here at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Looks like they will settle it back down to 3 wide for now. And they do. The 93 of Quentin Moore going to go to the race lead, but not for long. Here comes the 88 of Eli Blight to his inside.
And that inside lane is just so strong here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Watch out for that inside lane coming to the checkered flag later on in the race. A guy in second could peek right down to the inside and steal the win away.
Very possible. We've seen a lot of photo finishes already here at Talladega, and oh no, someone blows up. It's the number 2. Sebastian Kukulon just went kaboom. And just like every other version of this race, someone has always blown up early on, and it has always split up the pack.
I don't think it's going to split up the pack too much here. I think that second pack's going to get to the back, but it will actually keep us going a little bit longer. I think with them spread out like that, we're less likely to get a 4-wide situation. But you mentioned it always happens here at Talladega where you get someone to blow an engine. They rev the engine so much here at this version of the Talladega Superspeedway. They go max out on the tape and everything for speed, and sometimes it's just too much for the engine, and it's very common to see that here, unfortunately. And tough break to see Sebastian get knocked out that early.
Yeah, not the way that Sebastian Kukulon wanted to end the Autism Speaks 500 for him. But for 41 others, they still have a shot, and right now Jeff Scott going to the race lead at Talladega. And look at who's right behind them, the defending champion of the Autism Speaks 500, Travis Crampton, returning to the same ride that he wanted, but this year with Dish jumping on board, trying to go 2 in a row in the Autism Speaks 500.
Yeah, I'd watch out for Crampton in this race. He's a guy who knows how to get it done, even in real life, too. If we're actually racing, I definitely put my money on him, but they get stuck 3 wide there on the outside lane. Here comes Stephen Collin in the 24 to the inside of Jacob Thibodeau, and then you got Josh Williamson there going to 3rd.
And looks like this pack will all reform, and all 41 cars left will still have a shot in the lead pack. Josh Williamson going to take the race lead from the 24, and look at who's back up front. The Outposter, Clark McKee out front.
Yeah, McKee here is looking pretty strong in the 18. He didn't take too long to get back up to the front after losing it. 48's also up here as well. It's Stephen Thompson. And you got the 20 machine of Wyatt Walker there on the inside. But Williamson with a really good move there on the inside. And we passed for the race lead so much here. We may end up with more passes for the race lead than laps in this race, especially if it stays green. But that pack is formed back up, and the 11's blowing up in the back.
And now Jake Galloway, 2 blow-ups already in 6 laps. Oh my
Thankfully,
goodness.
that one happened at the back of the field, so it didn't split up the pack, but another tough break there, especially for Galloway. One of his first starts, I do believe, here in the NIRA, and now I think they're going to go the way he wanted it to.
Unfortunate break for Kuklon and Galloway, 2 blow-ups in 6 laps. That is incredible. But the 26 of Nonick and Scott, making just his second start on the channel, was going for the race lead, but now Alexi is going to go and take that race lead away.
And Legacy's going to have that run there, help from the number 5 machine. I believe it's Jason Daddy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Either Daddy or Daddy, one of the two. My apologies. But that 5's going to get that inside lane to work, and you also got that 56 of Alexander Rowe, and I mentioned Rowe at the top of the show. He might have a go at winning this race, I should say, here at Talladega. He's going to get the race lead here soon, I do believe.
Not unless the 7 up there line Pete's underneath him, but these 3 cars, the 5, the 56, and the 7 are just going to work together. Never mind. Dale Lightning going for second, and he has help from the winner of this race 2 years ago, Nathan Stapleton, in the 42, trying to get his second Autism Speaks 500 victory.
Yeah, Stapleton's got to go right there with Lightning to the inside of the 5, and that is why Stapleton won this race in 2018. He knows how to get it done, quite obviously. And going to look to the inside of Dady in the 5 and take second away with Lightning out in front.
So far, so good. 9 laps complete. 2 laps, we will be 1/5 of the way through the Autism Speaks 500 for 2020. And Val Moscow, he started second, all the way back up to the front from help from the 13 of Bronson Minute, making just his second start, and Elijah Gordon in the number 27.
And Elijah's a guy you gotta watch out for. He won twice here at this very racetrack in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. This was his place in his Chick-fil-A Cup Series career. Of course, a 2-time champion over there, so not a surprise to see him running up front in this race. I'd put my money on him if he's up front later on.
Not a bad pick at all. Here comes Bronson Minute, going to take the race lead from the 14.
13 machine here, going to the inside. Minnick with the run there. The help from the 27 of Elijah Gordon. But Gordon's not going to move up, and here comes Bobby Frazier. And the 35 of Zachary DeLello on the inside lane. I mean, we're going to see pretty much everyone in this pack move their way up to the front at some point. The big question is, when will the wreck happen? Or, if we don't end up with a wreck, when will pit stops happen to split this field up? And then we might see a group of guys who have a good shot at winning this race.
Yeah, very, very true. Most likely we will get a crash before pit stops, but
Finally.
But if we don't, then we could see pit stops about lap 32.
Alright, I couldn't see the last couple of laps. Can you guys catch me up on what happened?
There were 2 blow-ups. Kukulon and Galloway blew up in 6 laps.
Alright, it's having connection issues, so...
And
Comes
we
the
see
78 looking to the inside right there. That is Abby Jacobs with a good run there. Help from the 16 of Christian Vargas. It's kind of neat to see all these cars and get a taste of who all the drivers are in this race, and then the real race starts once we get a wreck or a pit stop to occur here at Talladega.
yeah, right now, Christian Vargas, a very good driver in the NIRA as a whole, trying to get some momentum during speed race and maybe get some momentum going into the Daytona 500 this time next week.
Yeah, John Andrews moving his way on the inside lane right there. The 32 machine won here at Talladega in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series last year, and we're heading to Talladega next weekend. So Andrews getting a little bit of experience there, and going to get a good run in the Turkey Hill Series race next Friday. But he knows how to get done here at Talladega, and he's going to the inside right there of the number 16.
And he will go to race lead. That is 4 wide.
I have some 4 wide in the middle there, yeah.
2 rows deep, 4 wide.
Looks like they're going to fan it back down. Well, actually, where they originally had it, they're going to fan it back down, but ahead of them. You got the 36 in the middle of all that with the 38, I do believe. Logan Williams and Al Legacy. Boy, that was close right there. Williams is looking to get to the inside there, but he does not have any room. Here comes Rainey to the inside of him.
4 wide again, back behind them.
Yeah, this is a ticking time bomb here. Eventually, at some point, they're going to wreck, especially with all the 4 wide that we have now. We got it in 3 places, and they're entering turn 1.
This is not going to work. And there they go. Oh my god.
Oh my.
Alexi up into the air. The 47, the 51, the 29, the 78. The 9, the 5, the 14. The big one strikes. And the 38 flies into the catch fence.
He actually drove right away from that whole thing when we got to race back to the line. 88 of Eli Bright looking to the inside. There's a 34 as well. Watch out for Chris Moffitt there. I think Moffitt's going to take it away in the 34 and win the race back. He will.
And Chris Moffitt, and I'm pretty sure in his first start, he will win the race back to the line after a massive big one here at Talladega.
You might want to watch for these guys on the cool down laps. Sometimes they don't figure it out, but it looks like they will, thankfully.
And they will.
Well, we went quite a ways there without a wreck. I think they definitely deserve a lot of credit for that, but you had 3 instances of 4 wide there, and you just can't get away from that. But wild wreck right there, but it's a very common one here at Talladega, and it was bound to happen at some point.
Yeah, they did 13, 14 laps staying green, but like you said, 3 cases of 4 wide. One of them was bound to cause a big one, and it did just that. Will anyone decide to pit? I wouldn't be surprised.
Most likely this will be a one-stop race, and they're going to come down later on, past halfway, I'd imagine. So
yeah, the only cars pitting are the damaged race cars. So everyone else that has no damage, they are staying out here at Talladega, and it will be Chris Moffitt bringing us back to the green. But before we do that, let's see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day in the 2020 Autism Speaks 500 at Talladega. This is really, really weird, and I can confirm that I've seen the first ever blow on the 2003. The 5 and the 14 got contact, clipped the 9, and then the 34 hit the wall and just did a blow over instantly into the catch fence he went. And then nowhere to go for the 78, the 51. Alexander Lowe got a small piece of it. The 14, the 29. Let's be okay. Nowhere to go for the 47 of William Block into the 51. And then the 29, a little piece of it in the 78. And then the 7 should be mostly okay. But what a wild crash for our legacy, getting a blowover and flying into the catchment here at Talladega.
So you're riding along with the point of view of Al Legacy as front of Battle Knights from 5 lanes of 4. Look at that car. That was almost a reenactment of the Brendan Gaughan crash at Talladega late last year, but and he just drives away thug life style. So
he's the first one to get away from that.
Yeah. So a very interesting crash, to say the least. Only going to knock out a couple of guys. We've seen wrecks out here in the past that have taken out like pretty much 3/4 of the field or half the field. So definitely interesting wreck. Rack them up and send them back out again.
Yeah, a very interesting wreck indeed. He might be able to even continue on. We have to wait and see. But it was the 34 of Chris Moffitt winning the race back to the line. And let's see what happened going back green here at Talladega. Welcome back here at Talladega Super Speedway. 37 cars are on the track. The 9, the 38, the 11, the 2, and the 10. So apparently something happened to the 10 as well. Maybe Osman Hamid blew up as well. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's possible when we were focusing on Kukulon that the 10 also had an issue too. It's a tough break for him as well in his first start.
And it will be Chris Moffitt bringing us back to the green on lap number 19 in the Autism Speaks 500 for 2020. A great start from Chris Moffitt in the number 34.
See, they're already fanning out to be 2 and 3 wide, and I have a feeling they're not done wrecking yet, Nathan. As we see the 88 of Eli Bright, he's going to go to second place. He's got the 95 of TJ Crampton to his inside. And Moffitt's going to lead this little train, this double file train here.
And Eli Bright going to get a massive one, but Chris Moffitt's going to block it. Two really good drivers right here. Actually, 3 really good drivers. That's like 4 or 5 good drivers trying to get by this first time on this inside lane of Chris Moffitt.
It's a little bit harder to get a line forming just after a restart, but now I would imagine at some point Eli Bright or even Crampton's going to make a move, and eventually they'll knock the 34 off the top position. But a lot of guys in this pack. I imagine it's around 30 drivers, so that's interesting. But another thing you got to worry about, and these guys have to worry about, there's going to be a few guys I think in the back who are not running as well as the others, and lap traffic could come into play there. If we get another longer green flag run. But they're not doing too bad right now, so maybe they won't be as much of an issue. But you see the 47 there, he's obviously going to be a problem as we go along throughout this run.
Yeah, lap traffic, if it goes green long enough, lap traffic could cause it into a factor and maybe get a caution from it.
There goes Vargas to the inside. They got around that 34 and they're back to 3 wide through the majority of the field. There goes Rainey as well.
And Quentin Moore, Stephen Collins, Nathan Stapleton, and the 55 of Mark Davidson also back up here as well.
Yeah, Davidson doing a pretty good job in this race. I mean, all these guys, as long as you haven't wrecked it, you're doing a good job. This is how Talladega is, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Just the luck up the stick, pretty much, at Talladega.
And you saw Chris Moffitt, he got shuffled all the way to the outside. And he got shuffled all the way to the back. That's how valuable the inside lane here is at Talladega Superspeedway, along with the draft. So he'll hopefully cycle all the way back to the front, and they're wadding it up. So if there's a wreck right in the front of this pack, then they're going to accordion into this. So hopefully nobody does that.
And here comes
Stapleton to the inside.
Stapleton.
The 2018 winner, trying to get his second Autism Speaks 500 victory, but Mark Davidson, the 3 Impulses champ from season 120, could hit his first Autism Speaks 500 victory.
And Vargas, he's going to get shuffled out to the outside. So they're cycling towards the back. We nearly have 4 wide in the back with a couple of guys. And to the point goes car number 83 of Ace Garcia in that Dr. Pepper Toyota. And behind him, making his first start in the Autism Speaks 500 is Francisco Chastain.
Francois Chastain.
Francois Chastain. Can't speak French.
Me neither.
There you go, 3 wide there for second. The 18 or Bolson going to the inside. 55 and 21 came a little close. Now, it doesn't take just 4 wide to make a wreck. Sometimes it can be 3 wide, and they will get into each other, especially down the backstretch occasionally. It can surprise you when it happens, but just because we don't have 4 right now doesn't mean a wreck won't happen at any point.
Oh, that's 5 wide. And there they go.
There goes Moffitt around.
And that wasn't even 4 wide, that was 5 wide. So
that
just
was
because we
5
had 4
wide.
wide, we had 5 wide. There's the wreck for you, and there's Crampton all torn up as well. Tough break for him. That's going to be it for the 95 defending race winner.
And oh, they're wrecking. The 35 gets turned.
Oh no.
Thankfully, that was a mild accident. I think it just got spun around, so he should be all right. But, yeah, that 4 wide and it eventually turned to the 5 wide. Just came out of nowhere, but it wasn't more of a traditional wreck. It was three guys who really got into each other, and there's no room at all for Moffitt to go, and he just got sent around and saw what resulted in that. Oh, and it happened right when they were crossing the line, too, so a couple of guys actually drove all the way around. I think everyone's kind of re-catching back up here, but 13 machine. Bronson Minnick won the race back to the line.
In the second start, and you know, that's the second time that a Ford has won the race back to the line, so maybe Ford might be a strong manufacturer today. They won this race last year, trying to go 2 in a row in the Autism Speaks 500. But here's the real question: about exactly halfway at the line, will these guys decide now is the perfect time to take the one and only pit stop?
Yeah, this is definitely when you want to come in, no doubt about it. If you're going to have to go for fuel, if they don't come in, which they're not, they might be thinking about making it the whole way through. Did you set this one to 1x or 2x?
1x.
Ah, so yeah, there's definitely, especially if we get another caution, and they're probably expecting that to happen. If we get another caution in this race, they should be able to make it the whole way without having to come down. And these guys coming down were involved in that accident, so
That might be the case. But it was the 13 of Bronson Minnick that won the race back to the line. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the second caution of the day in the 2020 Autism Speaks 500. Here we go. This is what happened 5 wide at Talladega. They could have went 6 wide if they wanted to, but the 30 got into the 22 and then up the track into the 34. And then Eli Bright got clipped. He should be fine. But then nowhere to go for Travis Crampton. Nosed it into the back end of the 30 and then pancaked the outside wall. A pretty mild crash, but then this is a big hit. The 30 gets turned by the 34 and into the outside wall. That's probably the biggest hit out of all of them for the 30 of Bobby Frazier. Eli Bright should be just fine, just spun out. But I don't know how, but somehow that pancake was enough to take out Travis Crampton, the defending race winner here at Talladega.
that was a much harder hit, though, than it looked, I think. He went right into that outside wall and got hit in the front, so that's probably why Crampton's out, unfortunately.
Probably blew a piston or springs or something like that. So, like you said, tough break for the 95.
You see Eli Bright move to the inside of Rainey, but it's Ream who actually, almost like they touched the apron, came up on Frazier, and then that was it. Couldn't do anything about that. There was no room to go for anyone, especially Crampton. It's a tough break for Crampton because he was just the back roll that had nothing to do with the incident starting. Unfortunately, our defending race winner is going to be taken out. Tough break for all the guys involved, but Eli Bright, like I mentioned, should be fine as he just spun around. And he'll be still in contention for this race victory, and I watch out for him as well. Eli Bright's pretty good at this place. He might end up winning this race.
And then this happened after they took the caution. The 20 of Roy Walker got into the 36 of Logan Williams, clipped the 35, and then Gilletto clipped the 39 of Justin Zidell. And around they went, a pretty mild crash. This entire caution is pretty mild, but just pretty much a spin. And Zachary Gilletto, he might still have a shot at getting his race win. Just have to wait and see. But it was the number 13, a Bronson Minnick, that won the race back to the line. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start the second half of the Autism Speaks 500 here at Talladega. Welcome back at Talladega Super Speedway. We will go back on lap number 29 for the 2020 Autism Speaks 500. The only car that is out from that crash is the 30 of Bobby Frazier. We did just get confirmation that Jack Galloway blew up by a clutch, Kukulon by a camshaft, and the number 10 of Osman Hamid by a gearbox. Travis Crampton is 2 laps down, and then it will be Bronson Minnick, the 83 of Ace Garcia, the 18 of Colton McKee, Josh Williamson, and 4th, and Francois Chastain rounding out the top 5. And it's time to go back green on that number 29 in the Autism Speaks 500.
Ace
Adrian going
Garcia,
wide there.
to see Ace Garcia automatically ducking up to the high side. They're already going to go 3 wide. Good thing they're not up to speed, or else Garcia would be going to the back, but he is going to the back as they go through the gears. Car number 99, Josh Williamson, he is right on the 13's bumper. And the 21, Francois Chastain, he's going to make a third lane going down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch.
Good run there on that inside, but you see how the 13 is able to stay up front. I think that's important. If we get a really late race restart, that leader might be at an advantage. I don't know if Minnick's going to be an advantage here, though. To the inside, going Chastain, and it looks like the 21's going to lead this lap.
Chastain will lead lap number 29. 21 laps to go, and here comes Stapleton from help from Stephen Collin and the 21 of Noah Clifton, his teammate, and the 26 as well of Nonigan Scott.
Yeah, Clifton, first time we've seen him up front all day, but he's going to go to the outside here.
And Stephen Collins going to make a late race stop, a late move dive to make a 3 wide for the race lead. And now that's going to screw the 21 of Francois Chastain on the outside lane.
Yeah, Clifton.
A lot of time left in this race for these guys, so even if they're getting stuck on the outside now, they're still going to have a lot of opportunities to get back on the inside.
And now there they go again!
Oh, there's the wreck. Car 35, 48, 22.
Oh, no. Eli Blight, Travis
That could have
Clampton.
been a lot worse there, and that's Bright in the 88.
Oh, the 51 as well.
There's the death blow to TJ Crampton, the 35. 47 going to skirt out on the outside. And that's going to be the end for a lot of those guys. Stephen Thompson, whoever's in the 35. Zachary DeLello. Bradley Ream was in that 51 of Landon Smith Jr., his first start. That's going to be a terrible day for him. Car 31 of Keegan Thompson takes the yellow flag. And I expect these guys to come down the pit road here because we have reached the midway point. So even though it is 1X, I think the tire wear is definitely starting to show. So
I actually think these guys are going to stay out here, though. I mean, with another caution, like I mentioned, then they stayed at that last time around. I think with all these caution flights, they're going to be able to have enough fuel to make it to the end, which is a bit of a stretch at 50 laps, but I think they're going to be able to do it just fine.
And you know what? For the third straight year, ARCA race happens. Not nearly as bad as it has been, but still a couple big hits, and that's going to take out the final nail in the coffin for Travis Clampton. And unfortunately for Eli Blight, who he was going to be fine, but not anymore. And looks like everyone is going to stay out once again. So maybe they are going to try to stretch it from here on out.
You see a couple of guys, actually, they were involved in the incident, the 11, the 22, and the 78, so they're coming to repair some damage, but it definitely is going to be a stretch, given that the window at Talladega in real life is somewhere between 45 and 47 laps, so these guys, I mean, they are in the draft, so I guess they are going to be saving some fuel just a little bit, or is that the opposite effect? I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely going to be interesting on who makes it and who doesn't.
Yeah, it might be a few miles race at Talladega, but we just have to wait and see. Unfortunately for everyone involved, but let's go ahead and see what happens. Bring out the third caution in the 2020 Autism Speaks 500 at Talladega Superspeedway. This is wrap and 4 wide scenario once again here at Talladega. The 16 pushed up into the 35 of DeLello, and then nowhere to go for the 48 of Stephen Thompson making his return to the channel. Nowhere to go, but it gets turned by Zachary DeLello, and the 18 out of Poster turns to 35 and gets airborne a little bit, and then into the outside wall they went, big hit into the back end. Nowhere to go for the 22 of Bradley Ream, and then this is where we've seen this so many times here at Talladega. but all complaints happen when they go back down the racetrack. The 14 makes it, but Eli Bright does not. 17 makes it, the 5 makes it, and the 34, but Travis Crampton does not. But the 78 makes it. Just a tough break. And actually, no, that's where the 78 got his damage from Eli Bright coming back up the racetrack. And then the 51, nowhere to go into the 35.
A lot of these guys were in the back, though. They wouldn't have had a shot at winning anyway, so it's not like we lost a bunch of good cars after the fact, but I don't think it would have been as bad for the 35 of DeLello and the 48 of Thompson if those guys did not come in like that. So tough break for all those guys involved, especially Eli Bright. I think Eli Bright actually had a shot at getting back into the lead draft, but fortunately not the case for him.
So 4 wide once again here at the Talladega Superspeedway does not work. The 35 gets clipped. He clips the 48, goes spinning like a top, and then goes right down the middle of the racetrack, hits the 88, and then nowhere for TJ Cranston to go. Travis, your in-car reporters, we see the 51. What was your vantage point? What happened?
Well, couldn't really see much with the giant spoilers, but I was trying to follow 34. Spotter kept saying go low, 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 and with the nature of Talladega, and the banking cars just slid down the hill and nowhere to go. So, tough break for the 95 crew, and we'll be back next year. So, on to next year.
Travis Crampton, driver of the 95, will be unable to retain his record, retain his crown as the reigning Autism Speaks 500 champ, but car 31 won the restart, so let's get back to said restart here at the Autism Speaks 500.
Welcome back here at Talladega Superspeedway. We will go back with just 15 laps to go here at Talladega and for the Autism Speaks 500. We have 31 cars left on the racetrack, but we lost 5 of them. Travis Crampton, the final nail in the coffin, he's done. Landon Smith Jr., he's done. Eli Bright's done. Zachary DeLello is done. And the 48 of Stephen Thompson are all done here at Talladega. And now it will be 31 cars left, 15 laps, and oddly enough, it is the 31 of Keegan Thompson that will lead us back to the green, followed by the 7 of Dale Lightning, the 55 of Mark Davidson, the 33 of Jacob Thibodeau, and the 26 of Donegan Scott. Back green with 15 laps to go at Talladega.
And hopefully we're done with the cautions in this race. We've had quite a few of them so far, but you just never know at Talladega. That's what I like about this place. It's unpredictable about when you're going to get a wreck and when you don't. I mean, it's even possible you can end up with a caution-free race here. Very slim chance you ever do, but I think we're going to be in store for a good race. I think it's going to go green the whole way through, so these guys are going to have to go all out to get to that inside and get to the race lead.
I completely agree, Napa, and see the number 33 of Jacob. I apologize if I botched
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. Oh, I thought there was an H. So Jacob Thibodeau in that 33. Haven't talked about him a whole lot today. He's going to go to the point. He's got the 21 of Francois Chastain behind him. So a couple of interesting names here at the point at the Talladega Superspeedway, and hopefully one of those guys can make it to victory lane.
14 laps to go. Anyone has a shot. Well, not anyone necessarily. I'd say maybe the 17. So about 24 cars have a shot left in the Autism Speaks 500 at getting the W. And everyone else, they might become a lap car late in the going if it stays green. And it's all Francois Chastain out front. But here comes Noah Clifton in the number 1. Charging his way up to the front.
Yeah, he's number 1. That's all there is to it. He may end up in position number 1 today. He's been very quiet in this race, but I think that might be a good thing because he's right there to the lead now, and he's still in this thing with a good shot of winning.
And he has help from Bronson Minute, and he was getting help from his teammate Nathan Stapleton, but Bronson Minute,
That was a bold move there for Thompson.
And a bold move from Stapleton, making it 3 wide for the race lead.
Here comes Garcia. Garcia, I don't think he's not that smart enough to make it 4 wide here. And Stapleton's gonna go to the point. Can he win for his second time in the Autism Speaks 500.
Ace Garcia is smart enough not to make it 4 wide.
Right.
Right there in the middle. But there's John Andrews. You got to watch out for Andrews, too. I think he's another guy who has a very, very good chance at this race win. We haven't seen him too much, but here he is. He's a strong driver, and I have a good feeling about him possibly getting this race win.
And speaking of Andrews, he's going to go for the race lead, but never mind, Keegan Thompson's going to make it 3 wide for the race lead. And he has his teammate Elijah Gordon helping him to the race lead.
And I think Gordon's another guy you got to watch out for. Gordon, Andrews, and Clifton. I have a feeling one of those 3 guys is going to get it done. Just an odd feeling. But they've been quiet, but they're also very experienced as well, especially compared to the other guys. And heck, there's Alexander Rowe, too, my initial pick to win this race. I think those guys who have the most experience, they're going to be up top near the end of this race to have a shot at this race victory.
Yeah, Elijah Gordon has won the Talladega race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series numerous times, so he definitely knows his way around this track. So I pick for him to be up here at the end of this. He's going to be on that outside lane as the 93. He's going to get caught in the sucker hole if somebody doesn't move down. Car number 20 of Wyatt Walker, he's going to go to the point.
And he has help from the 4-3 of Mitchell Collins, who started 3rd in this race. I haven't seen him all the way long since lap 102.
Oh,
that's 4 wide in the back, but it looks like they're going to maybe settle it, and they will. So Mr. Collins back up front, and how about this? Michael Walter Racing teammates announcing in the row, and Mark Davidson have found each other.
You know, it's a 26 of Nonigan Scott as well. And they're going to make it 3 wide for the race lead right there. There goes Davidson. They got only 10 laps left here at Talladega.
Nonigan Scott is going to be on the rear bumper of that 55. I'm not sure if they're still 4 wide. They were a little bit on the back straightaway, but they've kept it together. As Elijah Gordon, he's going to go to the back. And Nonigan Scott in that 26, he's going to go for the point. Give me a drag race to the line. 26 is going to get the 56. Here's 99.
There's 9 laps to go, and speaking of 9, the 99 of Josh Williamson is up to 2nd, John Anderson 3rd, Justin Zeidel back up front in the 39, and so is Trey Smith in the number 29.
Yeah, Zeidel was wrecked under caution earlier in this race, had a little bit of damage. They worked on it. He's bringing this up in the top 5, so if he can get a solid run today, or even a win, perhaps, that'd be a huge accomplishment for that 39 team. But Nonigan Scott continues to lead. He has John Andrews in the 32 behind him. So we come to 8 laps to go.
Yeah, those 2 guys have pulled out to a pretty significant lead, and Andrews trying to gain an advantage on these guys by helping the 26, but it's just impossible to pull away from someone here at Talladega. Luke Rainey coming through the field here. Thibodeau as well in the 33. There's so many strong drivers. You got Christian Vargas as well. Dale Lightning, so many strong drivers. Even Stapleton still in the mix for this one. I mean, it really could go to anyone in this pack. I mean, that's a pretty easy thing to say, but just the strength of the guys that we have in this pack is quite large compared to some other races that we might have.
And right now, we have to start potentially asking the question of potential lap traffic. Because they're in 1 and 2 right now, and these guys just passed the start-finish line. So, there might be a chance that we might catch up with these 3 lap cars before this race is over.
Yeah, I think we will.
Oh, yeah, definitely. These guys, a huge freight train of a pack of cars, and those guys, they were just side by side the moment ago, so I think if these guys don't wreck, we definitely catch up to lap traffic, which is going to throw a couple different monkey wrenches into the situation as Vargas goes to the point.
And now you got to start planning for when you hit that lap traffic,
boy.
and you also got to plan not to wreck either.
Oh my
Looks like
goodness.
they should get out of this one, but I don't know about that. Vargas went up high, or Lightning went up high as well, but they should have enough room. It's tight right there, but I think they will get out of it. But I was about to say, you got to start planning for when you're going to hit the lap traffic, because that pack will split up once they hit it. You got to be in the right place to be able to get around it, and with only now 6 laps to go, you got to make sure you're on that inside lane now, because if you're in the outside lane, only unless the lap traffic holds up the inside, you're not going to win this race.
That was very tight. And you know, with lap traffic, we should catch them with maybe 5 laps to go this time by, and yeah, we are definitely going to catch up to them. So this
We're going
will
to catch two of them
determine.
on this next lap here.
Lap traffic is definitely going to play a huge factor on who wins this race. 13 cars to the lead. Got the 24 on his outside, and you got this huge freight train of a pack bearing down on a couple of these cars. So, first in line on the chopping block is a 47. Where does he go? And where all these guys go? They're going to catch him in the middle of 3 and 4. So we might have a wreck here.
Right there, they got that inside lane to work, and now they're going to have to go to the outside. But only a few guys are getting out of this one, and you got to get around them now if you're going to have a shot at this race. If you have at that 13, Minnick doing a great job getting around these guys. He's cleared them all already.
Minnick just sweeping everybody off their feet. The 47 is holding the entire pack with only a couple stragglers getting out of there. So Minnick is definitely going to have the best advantage out of all these guys. He's cleared every single lap car. He's going to have Daddy coming up on him next. Minnick on the 43.
We got ourselves 3.5 laps to go here at Talladega. That 13's starting to pull away, but Collins is also right behind him as well, and they're going to easily get around the 5. Going to be tight here. And how about Clifton and Scott? They're also going to get around the 5 pretty easily. It's a lot easier when you're split up like this and you only got one car to get around. But also, you got Stephen Colin and Elijah Gordon, and then outside lane, Alex and Earl Luke Rainey also helping them out. They're also going to be up here with a shot at this race win.
Multiple drivers will have a shot, and multiple drivers will have some massive ones, and we are done with lap traffic. We are done with lap traffic for the last 3 laps. So it's just one on one, and just worrying about the competition, not worrying about lap traffic. Here comes Clifton in the number 1 for Triple Ganassi Racing from help from Nonick Scott and Stephen Collin.
Yeah, these 5 guys starting to pull away. I'm going to have to see, though, with Gordon and Rainey. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to close in, and they're going to have a huge run on this pack, and it does not take long to make up spots here at Talladega. I almost want to say that either Gordon, Rainey, or Rose is going to win this race, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down here. 2 laps to go.
My money's on Elijah Gordon. He's been in this position so many different times and so many different leagues. He knows how to get it done, especially when he's in that spot P4 as Bronson Minnick goes bye-bye to the end of this little mini pack. And to train, here comes a 26 to the inside.
Nonick Scott trying to get to the inside of Noah Clifton, but he can't get there. He had no help on the back stretch. And Noah Clifton will lead it to the white flag.
Here we go. It's going to be interesting here. Watch out for Scott, but watch out for Gordon. Gordon's going to go wide. But they're staying single file. I'm very intrigued by that move right there. But Clifton, can he hold him up for one more time?
Final lap in the 2020 Autism Speaks 500. Nonick Scott just making just a second start trying to get the race win. But here comes Elijah Gordon, Luke Rainey, and Alexander Roll as well.
It looks like Rainey, he's going to go to the inside of the 27. Doesn't get any drafting help. Not that much. Going to go 3 wide going into turn 3. Can Elijah Gordon get the shake and bake off of that 26 car? He's going to need a huge run coming into the trioval.
He might have a shot.
Behind.
I don't think he will. He won't. Nonick Scott in just a second start. He will win the 2020 Autism Speaks 500.
What a race. Definitely an interesting race. Couple of NR 2003 first with Al Agassi's blowover and a couple of cars with the mechanical failures throughout the race. But Nonick Scott in one of his very few NIRA starts wins the Autism Speaks 500.
What a race, what a finish. And Nonick Scott, who, to be honest, before he signed up, I never knew of who he was. But now everyone will know of who he is now. He is the 2020 Autism Speaks 500 champion. And he's going to get to be called that for at least 1 year. Until this event next year. What a race here at Talladega.
Elijah Gordon came oh so close But P2, that's gotta. It's not for points, so it's kind of sad kind of disappointing for the 27 team. But
I was hoping Rowe could get somewhere up there and possibly win this race because I called him the win into the top of the show, but still a great run for him as well. Luke Rainey, Bronze Dominic, Stephen Coleman, I should say. Different Stephen. Dale Lighting, Mitchell Collins, Noah Clemenace. I see a lot of guys who have a lot of experience in 2003 finishing inside that top 10. And, they got lucky. They avoided the Rex, of course, but all came down, I think, to experience in today's event.
Yeah, definitely. Experience was the key. Luke made a lot of experience on this channel. Elijah Gordon with a handful of starts. Stephen Collins just came off of a M&M's Truck Series season. Same with Dale Lightning. Mitchell Collins, Noah Clifton's been on this channel for a while. So a lot of veterans, like you said, doing a pretty good job. But at the end of the day, a driver that made just a second start gets his first career win in the Autism Speaks 500 for 2020. What a race. What are the final thoughts here at Talladega for the 2020 Autism Speaks 500?
guess I'll go first. Definitely an interesting race. Pit strategy did not surprisingly come into play. All the decision making was done on the racetrack, which was made it come down to driver's skill, as it was definitely perpendicular between some of the rookies and some of the NR 2003 veterans. Definitely saw some interesting wrecks. Definitely saw some people, unfortunately, have mechanical failures. F to those engines and pistons and clutches that broke. But definitely an interesting race for the Talladega Superspeedway. Talladega did not disappoint once again. Pulled off an awesome show. Not against Scott. He wins his first race here on NSRacing95.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. I liked how it played out. This is a very standard Talladega race, but it's always exciting because you never know who's going to win until the end, and you never know who's going to get knocked out, and you never know when the wreck's going to happen. A very unpredictable track, and not against Scott. I mean, kudos to him. I think of everyone in the top 10, he's probably the least experienced, at least with races I've done. And, kudos to him for pulling it off ahead of Elijah Gordon, two-time Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion, Luke Rainey, an IndyCar champion on my end, Alexander Rowe leading in the points in the Chick-fil-A Cups right now. I know I'm relating to a lot of what I have, but that's what I know, so I can actually know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my stuff. But he beat some really, really good Autism Free drivers in this race today, and hats off to him. Great drive for that number 26.
Yeah, a great drive for Nonick and Scott. Great drive for Quantum Minute, just his second start on this channel. Great drive for Alexander Rowe in his first start on this channel. But other than that, most of the top 10, top 15, heck even the top 20 is drivers that have raced here on this channel for a pretty decent amount of time in the NIRA. Thank you guys so much for watching. Huge congratulations to Nonick and Scott in the number 26. I don't know if that is Toyota's first win in this event or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. So Toyota, now all three manufacturers have won in this prestigious event, so that is pretty cool. One heck of a race, one heck of a finish. Nonick and Scott in his second start on the channel gets the dub in the 2020 Autism Speaks 500. Huge thanks to Tunapman and Twilight for joining me up in the booth, and for Travis Lampton being the inmate reporter. That was one heck of a race, and hopefully we can do this next year as well.
Yes. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Nonick and Scott for getting the win. And we are not done yet with NIRA Speed Weeks, because on Thursday night it will be the Powerade Duels at Daytona, and then on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, it will all be the season openers of all three series. It's going to be a great Speed Weeks, and this just kicked it off here this weekend, and we still have next weekend to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm NSRacing95 AKA Nathan Stapleton. Congratulations to Nonick and Scott on getting the win. And until the duels on Thursday, I will see you guys next time. Bye!